Libra, this is your week ahead astrology forecast by Born Without Boundaries, Astrology Motivation. Welcome everybody. In this video, we're going to go over the major planetary aspects and transits and how they impact your natal sun and what that means for your bottom line for this week. This week is the week of May 30th through June 5th, 2023. We're going to start really broad with the things that are going to impact everybody. And then we're going to whittle that down and focus into the things that all Libras should be focused on. Not necessarily concerned with. It could be very good news, but just should know about. And then I'm going to break it down into the decans. And the decans are groups of 10 degrees. Every zodiac sign has 30 degrees in it. And so every zodiac sign has 3 decans. And we break them into groups of 10 degrees because it's that 10-degree radius that really helps us, that really forms the aspects, and where the aspects are really true to themselves and true to the way that they'll affect you behaviorally. Anything outside of that 10 degrees, it gets really weak and it's not really that aspect anymore. An aspect is an angle that creates a relationship between two planets and impacts us in a specific way. So we're going to get into the decans. You don't need to know which degree your natal sun is located on to enjoy this video, because what I will do is I will translate the decans into an estimate of the birth date. So all you really need to know is when your birth date is. But the most accurate readings are going to be for the people who do know where their natal sun is located. And that's easy to find out. Libra, all you need to do is Google search free natal chart. And you need your birth date, which you already have, your birth time, and your birth location. And from there, you'll get your whole natal chart, and you'll know exactly which degree your natal sun is located on. So the big things. Well, there's a full moon this week, and it's in Sagittarius. It's a pretty peaceful moon. The moon is kind of playful and happy in Sagittarius. This is the thing, and I don't think it's actually a bad thing at all. There's a lot of growth and expansion and making room for more in unexpected places, in places that are new to you, like brand new. Sagittarius is all about new experiences and being open to them. But full moons are about letting go and releasing and making room. So really it is about cleansing and making room for brand new things to happen in your life and being emotionally open or ready for different experiences, broadening your mind, expanding, growing your heart, and those emotions being able to expand outward. Now, this full moon is trine to Chiron, and that's actually a really beautiful thing because it means healing, and because Chiron is in Aries, it could very well mean physical healing, expansion and growth, and finding faith or making room for new experiences based on the fact that you're finally healed, or you're finally ready to heal, or you finally have answers based on something like foreign advice, foreign answers, things and places that are outside of your, 30-mile radius or even 500-mile radius. This sense of going outside your own borders to get the expansion and answers and opportunities that you need, especially for healing those past traumas, what you've suffered from, and basically taking yourself outside of a comfort zone to find where you really belong. So those are the themes that are going along with the Sagittarius full moon, and we'll talk about how that interacts directly with your natal suns, because Libra is in a natural sextile to Sagittarius. So could be very, very beautiful for some of you. Now, other big things that are happening this week is Venus, which is your ruling dignitary, is going to be moving into Leo on the very last day of this week on June 5th. So she'll transit into Leo, and that will put her in direct opposition to Pluto, which is at 0 degrees Aquarius. She actually goes into an opposition on the 1st of June. This is a difficult situation. Things will change for you dynamically. They will change for you. Your feelings about things, what you value, your sense of value, the way people value you. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a bad way, but it will be in an extreme way that will kind of rock your world. So just understand that this week is going to be quite a transitional, metamorphic kind of week for you, especially with what you value, and who values you. Just an FYI. Another big thing that's happening is I know I always read, you know me guys, I always read off my notes. Another big thing that we have Uranus conjunct, or Mercury conjunct Uranus. And we actually had this a couple weeks ago when Mercury was in retrograde, but now it's not in retrograde. So there's some sort of delivery system happening about this brilliant energy that's coming through modern technology being able to reach the masses. I don't know what kind of announcement will be made. There could be some sort of funding that's going into it, or inquiry, because they are both, Uranus and Mercury are both still in Taurus, which deals with traditional systems. This could be a review of the sort of dissemination of technological advancements, whatever they may be. I think it will be very interesting, and with Uranus you can't necessarily predict. So expect the unexpected when it comes to tech and communications and the distribution of some news that I think we're going to finally get. And then I also had marked down Jupiter is still square to Pluto, and it will be until June 15th. This has been constant now for the past 2 weeks. It's been happening. This makes everything more extreme. So whatever you're running into, whatever you feel emotionally, it makes everything more extreme. So if everything feels overly dramatic or super like why was it that emotional, like that kind of got out of hand really quick, it's because of this energy in the sky. It just makes everything extremely intense, and it volumizes it, expands it, in some ways makes it more traumatic. Just an FYI, that's what's up. So let's focus on Venus now, because she is your ruling dignitary, Libra, and wherever she is, you should know. You should know where she's at. So right now she's in the last degrees of Cancer, and by the 5th she'll move into Leo. How does that impact how she behaves? Well, Venus in Leo is actually very she's high maintenance. Bottom line. I have my Venus in Leo. I can tell you this right now. She needs constant attention. You know, she empties out easily, or her value systems are very, very high. She's extremely loyal. And she really does Venus in Leo likes to show off and brag about her significant others or what she has. She really is very showy and likes to spotlight her flamboyancy. It is easy to spend too much money in this placement. It is easy to get a little too shallow and a little too just surface area. It's also easy to need too much attention and be too demanding and too needy. Just an FYI, hold on. Excuse me. There is a sense of confidence though when she's in Leo, but the confidence becomes dependent upon attention. Attention is affection for Venus and Leo, and that's kind of what you have to watch out for, because not everybody that's giving you attention is reliable. Just an FYI. She is going to be in direct opposition to Pluto by the 1st. And this is when things will dynamically start to shift for you, because Pluto is about dynamic shifts, and oppositions are about constant tension and stress with things that are shifting dynamically. It's kind of a test, to be honest with you, because this will only last for the next week and a half. So I wouldn't be scared that things were going to totally work out horribly. But for the next week and a half, if I was you, and because I'm a Libra rising, I take this to heart as well. I wouldn't try to make any big purchases. I wouldn't try to make any big changes to the way that I look. I wouldn't really try to get out into the dating world until this opposition was over. simply because there's too much tension, there's too much friction, and it's better to learn from this energy, and it's better to kind of take it in stride and realize you can't control it, you just have to control your reaction to it. So there's so much tension here that forcing anything new, though there will be some dynamic changes that you will just have to kind of deal with. So putting extra stress on yourself is just not, I wouldn't recommend it. Financially, romantically, I would stay away from any additional stress that you choose, because I guarantee you there will be enough stress, whether the outcome is good or bad, but there will be enough stress already over the next week and a half with that opposition to Pluto. Just an FYI. And since she's also, Venus is heading into Leo, she's more dramatic in Leo anyway. There's a sense of, it's just going to be sort of hyper sensitivity. So you don't need to put any more stress on yourself. Why go looking for it when it's going to inevitably come to you? Just an FYI. So let's get into the decans. If you are decan 1, your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Libra. This basically translates into the September Libras. Maybe September 31st begins the first decan, but basically the first 10 days of Libra season, which is generally September Libras, definitely Virgo cusps. You are decan 1. This week, Venus is going to be sextile to your natal suns. Your natal suns are also trine to Pluto and in opposition to Neptune. Let's talk about the trine to Pluto and the opposition to Neptune. This is only if you're cusps. This is only if you're Libra, Virgo cusps. The opposition to Neptune makes sense for you, right? The trine to Pluto is definitely you guys. What this means is an extremely creative time for you. These are long term. And any kind of interaction like a trine to Pluto for me is metamorphosis. It's the cocoon that your wings grow in. So there's definitely a dynamic change in terms of the way that you imagine yourself and the faith systems that you hold and what you have faith in. Those are changing. Let them change. Dynamically, they will change in every cell of your body. And after the next 3 years, I don't think you'll see yourself the same way as you used to. But this week, your natal suns are sextile to Venus, and that sextile to Venus does bring you fortune and opportunity when it comes to love, when it comes to money, when it comes to being valued, being seen as being attractive. You don't need to make any dynamic changes. This is just kind of going to happen for you, to be honest with you. But if you did have a hairdresser appointment scheduled, if you did have something like your house repainting scheduled or something like that, I would say it would work out better for any of you guys than it would for other people dealing with Venus right now. So you don't got to reschedule any of that shit. And plus, there's more attractiveness about you. There's more appeal. And there's just opportunities because people find you attractive. So definitely take them. Libra 2s. This is those Libras who were born at the beginning of October, say October 1st through 10th, maybe October 31st through 10th or 9th, in and around that period. That's Libra 2s. Basically, in terms of the degrees, if your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Libra. So you guys are going to be sextile to this full moon on the 4th of June. 4th, it depends on where you are on the globe. I think it's between the 4th and 5th. But the sextile with a full moon is a very romantic energy. It's a very magical energy. It's very psychic energized. So trust your psyche. You may get dreams that you've never gotten before, and you may get intuitions that you've never experienced before. And I can tell you this right now, you better listen to them, because that's where your magic works through. This is a highly magical time for you. And if you are into magic or casting spells, I would definitely go about it when it comes to this full moon. But even just manifestation and prayer will be much more powerful for you near this full moon, especially if you've been wanting to grow. That's Sagittarian energy, right? Especially how have you been wanting to develop yourself and expand yourself and get out of the confines of your norm? this is what you focus on. This is what you pray for. This is what you manifest around that full moon. And you have the whole magic of that sextile with your natal sun to really energize and make this an instant turnaround, an instant success of your manifestation. So please know that. You have a long-term opposition to Chiron, which means there is tension. There could be, especially since Chiron has been in Aries. So Aries, Chiron is about physical suffering, physical pain. So there could be that kind of agitation or irritation that's been happening to you. It's starting to subside, to be honest with you, because Chiron is almost like at 19 degrees Aries at this point. But overall, that's still going on, especially for those of you who are born closer to that 17, 18, 19 degree point, which in terms of dates is sort of around the 8th, 9th, 10th kind of energy when it comes to 8th, 9th, 10th of October. So just know that. But you also, this week, starting on the 1st of June, your natal suns are going to be trine the sun. So this is beautiful energy. I mean, your natal suns are going to be trine to the sun in Gemini and sextile to the full moon in Sagittarius. What a beautiful, harmonious energy for you to manifest and find some beautiful goodness in yourself and ways to broaden and expand who you are. Really be seen and have a great deal of fortunate opportunities happen to you around around that full moon. So the 3rd, 4th, and 5th especially. Just FYI, this is a beautiful time for you. So we have now Libra 3s. So Libra 3s, you're definitely on the Scorpio cusp. You're the last 10 days in Libra season. So somewhere between the 10th or 11th and the 21st of October is Libra 3s. In terms of the degrees, you are, it's if your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Libra. So if you are on the cusp, only if you're on the Scorpio cusp, you're very, very, very Scorpio cusp, like the 21st, maybe the 20th. Your natal suns are conjunct the South Node. Don't worry, because the South Node is coming for you. By July, that South Node is going to be conjunct your natal suns because the South Node is about to go into Libra. Oh, yeah. But it's only if you guys, only the cusps are conjunct the South Node opposite the North Node. This may be a little bit too much comfort zone-y for you. Maybe getting a little bit too comfort zone for yourself, and you'll start to see the universe challenging you on that. But Pluto, if you're at the cusp, is also going to be squared to your natal suns, which means there's a lot of dynamic changes and pushes toward starting to change or use what you've learned and how comfortable you've become with yourself, and change will happen through those comfort zones. But this week, your natal suns are square to Venus if they're at the cusp. They are square to Venus, which will be at 0 degrees Leo, be at the end of Cancer. So if you're on the cusp of Libra Scorpio, you will be square to Venus, which means tension when it comes to romantic relationships or how you're being valued, or dissonance when it comes to finances. And you will be, quincunx to the Mercury-Uranus conjunction. So this is not a great time for communications or applying for things like loans or mortgages. This is not a great time for doing tests or depending on technology for any important documentation. It's not a great time for you guys. There's going to be a lot of frustration that comes from it. And if you can put it off for a week and a half, I would beg you to do so, because you're going to get better results. And you're probably going to have to reapply or retest anyway. So why not just hold it off until then? I'm just saying, that's just my guidance. Surprises with tech monetization or modernization. So if things are being upgraded, there's going to be a lot of mess ups, especially when it comes to user interaction, user interface, how things look. If you're redesigning your website in this type of energy, it would screw up the whole aesthetic. Things will be upside down, twisted. The pictures won't be uploading right. It's this kind of energy. So just an FYI, yeah, not to make you so comfortable you can't. I don't know, I can't even read my own handwriting, but that's primarily what you're going to have to look for this week. And like I said, if you don't have to put the stress on yourself, don't put the extra stress on yourself. If you can postpone any of these interactions or any of these responsibilities, then do it. Postpone it till the week after next. Just postpone it a little bit. I know it's not possible for everyone, but for those of you who it's impossible for, give yourself a little extra time to work through the issues that will probably arise. Just an FYI. So you let me know in the comments below how this energy is impacting you. I love you guys so much, and please come on over to Born Without Boundaries for your week ahead tarot card reading. Remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and I'll see you next week. Bye, Libra.